And hello everybody, welcome into HammerWatch. I played this game with Dan recently, and it was amazing, and we did not get all the things, because we had no idea what was going on. So this is basically just me going through, and I want to get all the secrets to show you guys, because I really enjoy this game, and I think it's worthwhile to have like a solo playthrough on here where I kind of know more what I'm doing, and so basically that's what this is. I have since played through the game several more times and actually beaten it with everybody except for the Thief, and I haven't ever played as the Warlock. So I'm playing as the Warlock in this playthrough, and we'll see how that goes. I think my favorite character so far is the Paladin, but there's like basically a ton more stuff that you can do in this game besides just this campaign, so I didn't really want to do the campaign, or didn't want to do this series with the Paladin, because I'll probably be using him in like basically all the future stuff, like all the new stuff that we do. I'm gonna do a lot more stuff with Dan. So, whoa, this guy, every time he like hits people, there's like a little splash of poison. Like, okay, sweet. And then obviously chain lightning. So Dan used the Warlock on our first playthrough, so I kind of like have a general idea of like his abilities and stuff, but I don't really know like the little nuances, like that poison splash. And then obviously exactly how chain lightning works. I always just saw Dan throw it and then everyone would die. I was like, well, that seems pretty good, I guess. But in terms of the nitty gritty, I don't know much about it. But he seems, oh gosh, he seems great. So yeah. I played through quite a bit of the game with the Thief, and I just didn't really like him. He seemed really inconsistent because like most melee characters, except for I think the Warlock, have a way to block projectiles like arrows and like the slime that gets spit at you by the like giant worm things or whatever. But the Thief, how he does it is he blocks bullets with his swords. Oh, by the way, the first map you can see like this little crack in the wall here. If you slap it repeatedly, secret areas. And so there's a bunch of those. But anyways, the Thief blocks projectiles out of the air with his weapons, but like it seems very inconsistent. There's probably ways to make it better by like backing up or something, like you'll give yourself more time to hit it or something, I don't know. But it just, he has like incredibly low health as well. The Paladin just has a shield that just stays in front of him all the time, so as long as you're facing the proper direction, he'll block the attacks. And he also has a ton of health, so it's like okay if you get hit. The Thief doesn't have enough health to really take accidental hits. Okay, so this is another secret. It's a portal that takes you straight to floor 3. I'm pretty sure if you take that, it's not possible to get all 12 planks, although they might find a way to work it in somehow. But I'm pretty sure you don't. If you do take it though, it like opens up an area that normally is not available on floor 3 that has like a lot of money in it, so you can like you don't miss out on tons of gold, which would make you really under-leveled. I don't know. I took it one time and I don't really think it's worth it. Unless I guess you're trying to speedrun or something. I mean, I'm sure there's reasons to, or if you just really hate the first couple levels. This game is a little bit tedious until you get to some of the first vitality vendors and buy some speed upgrades, like your movement speed is pretty sucky off the bat. Oh, and with the like destroyable walls, well, I guess all the secrets that you need to look for in this game are on north-facing walls, because the only real types of secrets that there are like breakable walls, such as this one, or buttons that you have to press on walls. Let's see, what else can there be? There can be walls that you can walk through. It's not breakable, you just, there's a quote-unquote wall there, and then there'll be like a little hint that you can go through it. And those things are all, excuse me one second. I had to clear my throat. They have breakdownable walls and also walk-throughable walls on all the floors except for pretty much the fourth, well I guess the fourth act. So acts 1 through 3 have pretty much all the same things. And then act 4 there's only like 2 instances where you walk through a wall. The rest of the stuff is just buttons that you press. So I guess that was one of the things like kind of threw me off once I got to Act 4, is I was always looking for places I could walk through walls or like secret walls to break down, but they don't really exist in Act 4. The breakdownable walls, and maybe to a slight degree, the walkthroughable walls become more and more subtle as you continue. Like in Act 3, I honestly couldn't tell you what the walls look like. I just kind of know where they're at. Gosh. And this is probably going to be the start of the major issue with the Warlock, is his non-ability to block projectiles, as far as I know. But he does have a pretty decent mana pool. His attack range is also really short on his basic attacks, but he does a lot of damage. So I guess kind of balances out in a lot of ways, especially later on. I'm sure when you start getting a much bigger mana pool, you can just use your spells, whoa, to kill ranged enemies from a distance without having to get up into business. You can play this game with just the keyboard. There's no mouse controls, or you can use a controller. I would highly recommend a controller for almost every character, especially ranged characters like spellcasters, because on the keyboard your aiming is basically going to be restricted to the 8 cardinal directions, which makes it a lot harder to like pinpoint aim at things. Which, I mean, if you want to make long distance shots with the Warlock, or like with the Priest especially, or the Mage to a lesser degree, I guess, it would be incredibly difficult, I'm sure, with just the keyboard. And then I think you like have WASD or something. But with the controller, you can like sit here and like spin and aim in any direction you want by holding the right trigger. You can strafe. You can strafe with keyboard as well, obviously. And in my when I was first playing the game, that was one of the things I really didn't understand how useful it was strafing, especially for melee characters. Whoa. And like the Ranger has super long range, and his arrows don't really travel that fast, so it can be kind of hard to hit people at distance, because they'll just move out of the way. But kind of like just strafing and then covering large sections of the ground all at once. Like you kind of just strafe and shoot like this, and everything kind of turns out fine. Okay, so if you can see this little piece of wall right here, has like a pair of flashing red eyes that come out. Yeah. And you just, the hole in the wall, a pair of red eyes, and that is a walk-throughable wall. And that's basically what they look like in all the chapters. There'll just be a section of wall, and then there'll be like a little hole in it about base level. And then if you look really close, you can see some flashing red eyes, but they always look the same. Like all the rest of the walk-throughable walls in this chapter will just look like that. And the same goes for Act 2 and 3. Once you find one, if you like notice what it looks like, then you can just keep your eyes out for that same pattern, and it will always be like that. Yeah, so this guy's just telling us about the strange planks. Alrighty, sorry for potentially weird little cut right there. I had to make some adjustments to some things, but everything is fine, and I didn't actually do anything except for probably not in the exact same place I was a second ago, but whatever. Welcome back, everybody. The adventure continues. I've found that completing the first campaign usually takes about 2.5 hours or so, if you kind of just go at a slow pace. I mean, I'm not just like trying to get to the end as quickly as possible by any means. Kind of just like taking my time and having a good amount of fun on the way. And it's usually about 2.5 hours. I think when Tana and I first played, it took like 6. You know, it was like 7 hours or something to beat the first campaign, and we did not find everything. And I mean, now I'm going through kind of like a just whatever sort of pace, knowing where all the secrets are. Okay, combo is very useful for melee people, I find, more so than for ranged characters. I mean, definitely probably maxed out Nova, and a high amount of healing is obviously super helpful for anybody, but I find that like even at low levels, combo is super helpful for melee characters, and like a low level combo is not that useful at all for like the mage. It's okay for the ranger, especially if you just get it to get some like healing, just because the ranger doesn't really have any way to get health back. The paladin does not really need the healing from combo, and I'm pretty sure the warlock technically doesn't really either, just because he has like a bunch of healing abilities. It's kind of his thing. By killing people, he gets health back. So, the priest, yeah, it's not super important, I suppose, to have combo on him till much later. I mean, late game combo is useful for everybody, and you'll just be able to afford it, so there's not really any reason not to. But early on, I would say like for probably the ranger and the priest for sure. Like save your money for something else, probably the attack vendor, or the vitality vendor, who like increases your mana. Which I think the first one is actually on this floor somewhere. We'll run into him soon. I spent all my money on combo, which was maybe not smart. I probably won't be able to afford, definitely won't be able to afford both health and mana upgrades, but I might be able to afford the mana. Hopefully I can. For all spellcasters, you're going to want to prioritize mana upgrades like crazy. Definitely make sure you can get it as soon as it's available. Even if you have to run around and like farm a little bit and come back and get it, it's definitely worth it. I kind of feel like the warlock has like a chance to poison. He like does a little splash, like a little bit of splash damage, but then he kind of has like chance to poison. It doesn't really seem like it's guaranteed every time that he's poisoning people with his melee attacks, or basic attacks, I guess. I don't really know. I'm not going to complain about it. He seems pretty good so far. I mean, he's a melee spellcaster, so I think right now, just because my mana pool is so tiny, I'm mostly just a melee person, but later on, it looked like, I mean, Dan had like 525 mana or something at the end of the game, so, which is more than I've had with any other character. Maybe we just got lucky with like the random mana upgrade drops, but it's pretty ridiculous. So, he was pretty much just casting spells all the time. Oh gosh, I guess the point I was trying to make was, for being a spellcaster, he actually has a pretty reasonable health pool. The priest starts out with like 40 health, so really nothing substantial. I think the priest is the character I've played most recently, and then I think right before that was the mage. They both have very small health pools. Like by the time the little warning arrow comes up over your head, it basically means get hit twice and you're dead. And I looked down, I saw like 27 health, which is decent, I suppose, at this level. Okay, so these are like buttons that you need to watch out for. They're on all levels and always look the same, and they usually just like open up a secret, or you have to press like 5 of them and then they open up a secret. I think, I'm pretty sure that's consistently all they do. They like just open up new areas to go to. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay the buttons, it's super useful. Kind of feels like my mana is coming back really quickly, but I don't think it is. I think everybody's, like, all classes' mana comes back at the same rate until like people start getting upgrades for them. But like just right now, I feel like I'm using it a ton, but still mostly have it when I... Okay, so I really want mana pool a lot. Health pool, like, I mean, it's like half the price and you get 15 health. This doubles your mana from 75 to 150, so incredibly useful. And that's pretty much how it goes for the priest as well. I think the priest starts having like his upgrades for his health will cost like, you know, 2,000 gold or whatever, and they literally give you 5 health, which is the same as getting a random health upgrade, so it's just not worth it at all. Obviously, if you have just tons and tons of extra money, you're going to want to buy it because it can't be unreasonably squishy for the whole game, otherwise you'll just get blown up later on when stuff starts doing a lot more damage. But I don't know. You definitely have to stop and evaluate if it's worth it or not. I think that's pretty much the case for all characters. I would say the Ranger is pretty well-rounded in terms of like reliance on mana or not, and like his health upgrades are pretty good, and his mana upgrades are like pretty good. So I don't think you could really go wrong with buying him for him. I think with the Paladin, he has healing abilities, so basically mana becomes health. So, and I think his upgrades are like fairly decent. It's not like you don't feel like you're getting ripped off. I guess just you can kind of stop and see like, does this feel like I'm being ripped off right now? Does it feel worth it at all? And I would say like for the priest later on, 5 health for 2,000 gold is not worth it at all. Even if you have like 14,000 gold, probably better off just buying extra lives. Okay, now I have enough for the mana, so let's go back. Get it. Come back. Oh, and I guess one thing I could mention, there are 12 total planks, and there's like 1 on every floor, sort of technically. Around floors 5 and 6, things get like a little confusing and messy, but I'm pretty sure that you could manipulate the scenario to basically say that there's 1 plank on every floor. So once you find 1, you're good to go if you want to get a true ending, I suppose. This game is super arcadey. My girlfriend was asking me about it, like if I was playing any fun games lately. I'm like, well, I've been playing HammerWatch, and she's like, oh, what's that about? And I was just like, I guess she wants the plot, and it's like, go in the castle and get the treasure. Like, that's literally the whole plot of the game. They're basically like, yes, it's a video game, and you don't need motivation. Your motivation is you want to have fun playing a video game, so here's the story. And then I guess, so I mean, saying getting the true ending is, like, pretty much a joke, because it basically switches from the castle collapsed to the castle collapsed and you made it out. Like, that's your reward, is like a line of text saying you didn't die in the castle. So I guess you can have that in your own mind, like, oh, yes, the story's so much better now. But, I mean, it's just literally for gameplay's sake and 100% completionism. I don't think getting a combo helps you get health back faster. I don't even know if that would be like a worthwhile... I mean, not health, mana. I don't even know if that'd be a worthwhile upgrade for some people. Maybe. But I think combos already do enough in the long run. Right now they're kind of meh. I don't think I missed any doors. I'm just supposed to have an extra bronze key right now. Okay. His basic attacks, I'd say the Warlock probably has the smallest range. Paladin later on has like the best range out of any character. He like hits, oh my gosh, 19 health, dodge, dodge. He ends up being able to like swoop like 240 degrees around him, so he like will hit people behind him and stuff. It's ridiculous. And I think the Thief just starts out baseline with like a 180 degree area of effect for his basic attacks, which maybe upgrades or maybe doesn't. I didn't like the Thief, so I didn't make it all the way through the game with him. I made it like partway into Act 2, and then kind of just decided that he wasn't my guy because he was really inconsistent. I just kept dying constantly. It was not enjoyable. So I don't really know if he like upgrades have like a 360 degree of hitboxiness. Gosh, maybe I should just use this potion. Got it for free anyways. How's that guy not dead yet? It's like I hit him with gosh dang Warlock Blast and like 1,000 swords. I feel really ineffective right now as a Warlock. If I can't use Chain Lightning, then I'm basically like, oh, I'm useless. Which I think is pretty much the case for a lot of the characters early on against ranged characters specifically, except for obviously other ranged characters. Like the Ranger doesn't really struggle at any point. There's not really a moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so useless. And there's, with the Mage, that kind of happens early on because your range is so short. And, like his fireballs travel like 3 tiles, and you shoot him so slowly and their explosion radius is tiny. It just, you kind of feel lame. The Paladin doesn't ever really suffer from that. Pretty much generally feel effective. Maybe not always in a good way. Like, for some totems, like just the totems later on. Oh gosh. It wasn't too uncommon that I'd get to the point where I'm like, just forget it, I'm going in! And you just get hit like 100 times in the face and just get really mad, but you'd kill the totem. But, well, I guess I did technically succeed. It just doesn't really feel like it. And I mean, you have enough health you can deal with it. Plus also ways to regenerate health, like, on command, so it definitely works out fine, but it doesn't really feel like a success. And I think right now the Warlock is just getting just kind of like that feeling like, well, I guess I'm a little bit screwed. And I'm sure that'll go away later as getting power-ups for him. There we go. And there is a secret walk-throughable wall right here. It looks like it's a super long hallway, but it's like when you're going in, you're like, oh my gosh, will the party never stop? And once you get to the end, it's actually like coming back down when you can see where you came from. Like, oh, okay, it's not really that far. But when you're just walking into the blackness, you're like, I'm never gonna make it, no! Nah. Don't want to kill myself on the spikes. Okay, so Chain Lightning does not open boxes, good to know. I think that reward is super randomized. Like, sometimes it's money, and sometimes it's a power-up, and that power-up is randomized as well. I don't really know that armor is that great. I'm trying to think what would have been better. Like, maybe 5% damage increase, or like, health, maybe? I don't know, or mana, obviously. I don't know, you can't really complain about any power-ups, though, just because they're so useful. Like, maybe one isn't that great, but they really start to stack up. I think I'm too slow to make it through there without being shot, and it is not worth it, because Pub does like 25-ish damage or so. Certainly a lot more than I want to take right now. I'm not really sure how I'm going to split up these videos for, like, I guess this is somewhat a guide. It's kind of like a Let's Play, but it's more of a walkthrough. It's like a walkthrough Let's Play. I don't know. Just because I've, like, already beaten this enough that I know where all the things are. So I don't really know how I want to split it up, if I want to do it by floor or just by, like, my normal 20 minutes. But we have reached 20-minute mark. A little bit over, actually. So I think I'm actually going to... let's just... Look, another secret! Wow! Okay, so these things are just random chance games. You just step on the button and you get rewards. Yeah. The minimum reward is just getting a potion. Like, the level 2 reward is 1-up in a potion, and then I've got up to level 3 reward, which is the potion, the 1-up, and then a special extra thing. I don't know what happens if you get all 4. There's a little button up here, and it says, this is a chance puzzle based on luck. No one has gotten all 4 rewards, which I think is probably not true. But I have no idea what it is. So anyways, these things are basically just reliable sources of free potions. That's pretty much what we want to count on them for. But anyways, thank you guys for checking this out, and when we come back, we'll be continuing Act 1, finding all the planks and secrets. So, until then, everybody, have a great day, and keep it trashy.